Hello, homeschool friends. Sabrina here from sevensistershomeschool.com. Let's talk essays. We all probably would agree that essay writing is an important thing to do in high school. We all probably wrote essays when we were in high school. But high school essay writing is really a challenge for some students, and it's a challenge for some homeschool parents. And so we're going to try to give you a couple of tips today for success with essay writing in homeschool high school. So first off, I'm going to tell you, you don't have to love writing in order to teach essay writing to your teen. You don't. You don't have to be a natural writer. You don't have to love writing. You don't have to be a good writer to teach essay writing to your teen. You really don't. Sometimes we get this idea that we have to be all the things to our kids when we homeschool, and we don't. What we're doing, if we're wise and if we're realistic about our limitations, what we're doing in homeschool, in particular in homeschool high school, as our teens get a little bit older, is we are helping them learn how to learn. Helping them learn how to learn. That means that we don't have to be the experts in every subject area, but we can help them learn how to learn about the subject that they're trying to master. And that is instilling in them skills that they can use for the rest of their lives. They can become lifelong learners when we help them learn how they best learn things. When we can help them learn how to ask good questions. When we can help them learn how to do good research and to understand where their information is coming from, to know whether or not it's good information, whether it's accurate, whether it's respected. When we encourage them to seek out learning experiences in a variety of places, instead of trying to set ourselves up to be the source of information on every subject that needs to go on that high school transcript, instead of putting all that impossible pressure on ourselves, if we remember that we don't have to teach our kids everything because we already know all this stuff, we can help them learn how to learn about a variety of subjects. All right, so let's bring this specifically to essay writing and help you find success with essay writing in your homeschool. The reason I'm saying that you don't have to be a great writer or you don't have to love writing in order to help your teen become a good essay writer is because there are two pieces to good essay writing that you can help with even if you're not naturally a great writer and you don't enjoy it. The first thing is often overlooked, and that is that essay writing is primarily about thinking. It's not primarily about writing. That sounds a little crazy, right? But the thing about essays is that they are a specific type of writing that comes from a specific type of thinking. And part of the reason that so many people struggle with essay writing is because they get really stuck on the form of the writing. They get really stuck on this idea that the writing has to be this certain way, and they skip over the thinking step altogether. The thing about an essay that is so important and is a part of life skills actually, and not specifically writing skills, is essay writing calls for the writer to think about a specific topic, a specific question, and then take a stand on it. And in order to successfully take a stand on the answer to that question or that topic, they have to then provide support, evidence of some kind that is going to persuade the reader to agree with them, or that is at least going to persuade the reader that what they're saying makes sense and has some merit, even if they don't necessarily agree with them. All right, so that thinking process can actually be done first and independent of the writing process itself. One of the best tools for successful essay writing in high school, especially for a kid who is not a natural writer and a parent who's not a natural writer, is to have a conversation about the topic for that essay. whatever question you're supposed to be answering, whatever that writing prompt is, or that essay question for a college application or for the SAT or out of the essay writing curriculum you're using, wherever that question comes from, whatever that topic is, first have a conversation about it. And don't make anybody start writing right away. Give them some time and some space to think about the topic and to chat about it. Takes all that blank page paralysis out of the equation. And it allows your student to sort of think around the topic and to think about some different, perhaps contradictory pieces of evidence that could be used in support of a thesis statement. Okay? The term thesis statement sounds very, very big and scary and impressive, and really it's clearly stating a position on a question or a topic. It's stating an opinion that you're then going to be able to back up with some kind of evidence that hopefully is going to persuade your reader that you know some stuff. All right? So think about it first and talk about it. Once you've been talking for a minute or two, then maybe jot down a couple of notes. Not complete sentences. Don't decide on your thesis statement and the correct wording for that yet. Just some general notes. Okay? Just sort of as if you were interviewing someone and you wanted to jot down the high points of what they were sharing with you. And perhaps don't even require your student to do the note-taking. You could do it as the parent. That's okay. You're just capturing a few of these ideas, a few of these thoughts that your student is having as you talk about, in a very casual, relaxed way, talk about the subject that they're then going to be writing their essay on. Now, once you have those notes to look at, it is so much easier for your student to then say, okay, I think the position I'm going to take is that X, Y, or Z. This should be the policy in the United States. Or these two things are very, very similar. Or these two things are very different and people should not mistake one for the other. Whatever type of essay they're writing, it could be a comparison and contrast essay, it could be a persuasive essay, a literary analysis essay. There are so many different types of essays, but for all of them, the thinking should come before the student begins writing. All right, so that's my first tip for essay writing success, is separate the thinking out and do the thinking first and give some space for your kid to just sort of think out loud. Really, really helpful for a lot of kids, particularly those who don't love to write. Second thing that you can sort of isolate from the writing process. So you've got this idea and you're looking for support to back up that idea and to help convince readers. But then there's the actual writing part. There's form that goes along with an essay. Typically, many of the essays that we assign in high school are 5-paragraph essays, and so you're looking for an introductory paragraph where your primary opinion, your thesis, is stated very clearly. And then you have 3 paragraphs that follow, each of which provide a distinct piece of support for that opinion, for that thesis. And then your 5th paragraph is typically your conclusion. If you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, if the form of the essay is not something that you feel solid with, just choose to use an essay writing guide. SevenSistersHomeschool.com has lots of them, starting at the middle school level and moving up through introductory to intermediate to advanced to college application essay writing. All right, step-by-step instruction, bite-sized nuggets, skipping busy work altogether, laying out the process of getting those paragraphs shaped correctly so that the ideas come through very clearly, very persuasively. All right, so you've got the thinking, you've got the form of the essay itself. That can be obtained just from a well-written essay writing guide. Okay, and then the last piece is the grammar. Grammar is a bugaboo for some people, really, really tough, really not something that you learned much of yourself, even as the parent. If that's the case, then you're going to want to do some very intentional grammar instruction at some point in middle school or high school, because grammar is not something that you can just skip over. Good writing has to be grammatically correct. It needs for the sentences to be structured correctly. It needs for punctuation to be used correctly. It needs for the spelling to be correct. All of those kinds of things do matter. but you don't have to just do it as a part of a writing assignment where then it becomes just overwhelming and frustrating because your student is trying to think big thoughts and write according to a certain form and use correct grammar all at the same time. And that's too much. So break those 3 things into separate chunks for successful essay writing in high school. Thinking, chat about it. Writing, get a guide that's going to help you with that form that an essay is supposed to take. It's a unique type of writing, and it does need to follow the expected guidelines for essay writing form. So get a guide to use for that. Grammar. Get a good grammar reference guide. Again, SevenSistersHomeschool.com offers grammar granules. This is not a comprehensive, standalone, 1-year English grammar text, but it is a wonderful, like a pocket guide kind of. It's great for a parent who has a decent handle on grammar but doesn't really remember all the specifics, like what's active and passive voice again and why does it matter, you know? And you can find that page, that section rather, in the Grammar Granules reference guide, and you can get a refresher. Oh yeah, that's what that means. And oh yeah, here's some good examples. You share it with your student, and then they've got something to help them make good choices, grammatically correct choices as they're writing. But let them refer to that and expect that you're going to do a couple of different drafts of any piece of writing, because you're always going to end up with a better final product if you let yourself walk away from it for a little while and then come back and look at that first draft and open up that grammar reference and check some things and reword some things to get the content coming through as clearly and as interestingly as you can. Okay, so think of essay writing in 3 chunks, and you're going to find a lot more success with your teen in essay writing in high school. The thinking, the form of the essay itself, find a good essay writing guide. Check them out at SevenSistersHomeschool.com. And the correct grammar within each of those sentences and each of those paragraphs. And again, check out Grammar Granules, SevenSistersHomeschool.com. If you break the 3 pieces apart, you're going to find a lot less frustration and a lot more growing confidence as your teen writes essays. So I hope that's helpful to you. Don't skip essay writing. It's very important. That thinking process is going to serve your teen well. The rest of their lives, they're going to need to think through things and provide support for opinions that they put forth. And all that practice that they did with essay writing in high school is actually just going to help them be good thinkers, good critical thinkers for the rest of their lives. It's good stuff. You don't have to be an expert in everything, homeschool parent. You really don't. Your job, especially in high school, is to come alongside your teen and help him or her learn how to learn about a variety of subjects. If you need more help in figuring out how to homeschool high school, you can learn about that by checking out your big sisters and their advice at SevenSistersHomeschool.com. The blog has hundreds of posts on so many different topics that will help you learn how to be a more confident and more successful homeschool parent. So check it out. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, where are we? YouTube. And yeah, we want to be your big sister and we want to encourage you. All right. So happy essay writing, and I will see you next week. Bye.